all these problems come back to leadership. And can I say something about Cameron Murray? He's a wonderful rugby league player, arguably top 3 forwards in our game, but I'm not sure.
Well, he's been caught up in the.
He's been let down.
He's been let down because you know, even when there's an incident regarding players that we all know is wrong, even the Triple M one, you know, they wanted to blame Triple M, they wanted to blame the interview, but it's even poor Cam Murray has to stand there, and we know that he doesn't stand for what's going on there on and off the field with some of those players, but he has to stand there because he's the leader and try and defend the players because Blake Solly and the rest of them aren't doing it.
No.
So,
I can only
they're enabling it. So poor Cam, who I believe is a great leader, is a warhorse and the heartbeat of that club, he's been caught up in it. Now he's not been the leader he should be because he's trying to defend players that he knows shouldn't be acting the way they are on and off the field.
And defend behaviours too that the club's allowing people to get away with.
The only people that, like we're talking about coaches, the only people that get themselves out of this are the players. Sam Burgess tried to put it on the players and he got ridden out. So now...
Well, that's the problem Jason Demetriou's facing. Because if he starts sitting there and says to some of the players, look, these behaviours are not acceptable, he might lose that battle. He probably will lose that battle, which is why he's probably allowed some of these behaviours to continue at the club.
Because it was bigger than him.
He worked because he's allowed those behaviours because he was of the opinion that he was at risk of losing the shed.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Or did he have the support from above him? Sometimes players are bigger than
the coach didn't have the support above him because, as Paul said at the start of the show,
there it is.
We have been often critical of the Rabbitohs since their form slump 20 games ago, and we are met with, I wouldn't say abuse, but some very unpleasant...
Well, Denny Wilder said we've been attacking players in clubs off the back of South Sydney. We haven't been attacking players in clubs. We've been stating the bleeding obvious, and they're doing nothing about it.
We've been stating the problem that they've only this week been prepared to admit.
Exactly.
And you know what? All the fans...
Finally admitting it.
All the fans want this sort of media pressure now to drive change. They've had enough, I can tell you.
They have.
Their members, their chat rooms, their socials.
You'd have to be a brave coach to walk in there.
It's going to be a tough job.
That's a powerful
all the players have been struggling, all right? So we're not going to single anyone out here, but it's obvious that Latrell Mitchell, 3-match ban, didn't have one of his better games or weekends, and this was the result of that.
The roster's also out of shape, though, too, bro. They've let that roster... Look, the forwards have not won the battle through the middle in any game this year. Even the game they won, you'd argue Kenty gave as good as they got.
Yes, probably should have won Kenty.
Probably should have won. Their backs couldn't outrun Gordon. You know what I mean?
Oh, Alex.
Alex is the only one you'd put in the frame though. They are slow on the edges, and then you look at a side like Brisbane, for example, and how fast they are. You look at the Raiders last night, some of the speed they had. You look at the Warriors, the speed that they've got in the back line. And then you look at South. South's have got blokes who should be playing second row out in the edges because that seems to be their position. But that's their capabilities, that's what they're at. They're slow players. There's no speed in the team anymore.
Kenny, I wrote last week that Latrell was a major accident awaiting to happen. And go back to the Addo card tackle, you go back to him dropping the knees on Tedesco, and then this on the weekend. How he stayed on the football field.
And the issue there, Buzz...
It's almost like road rage,
but the
Kenny.
issue is you saw the warning signs coming. Why hasn't someone at the club been able to speak to him and just say, listen, mate, you're pushing your toes to the line here every week now. For weeks now, there's been an incident where, almost bordering on petulance, he's done a bit of a cheap shot with for example, the Addo car came in late with his knees. He's done that a couple of times this year already, hasn't been pulled up, and then on the weekend, I would dare say, I think he got very lucky. If he got charged with striking rather than dangerous contact, which I think he should have, given in the wording of the striking charge, it says an elbow. If he got a grade 3 striking, he would have got an extra week. He should have got charged for the lifting. Said they only gave him a letter of a warning, right? He should have been charged for that as well. But can you imagine the uproar from certain elements because he's been hit with a double charge because the whole you pick it on Latrell business. And it's not a picking on Latrell business for any other reason than Latrell's doing the wrong thing. He's doing the wrong thing, and he needs AMR.
You can't defend him on those incidents.
Well, you can't. But the NRL's running scared of him. I'll guarantee you that. The NRL is running... They are pandering.
Kenty, it's 15 weeks of suspension. It's not just 3 weeks for this one. 15 weeks. going back to the shot on Joey Manu all that time ago. But you know what? South were filthy on the Joey Manu coverage.
Well, he missed the grand final.
They didn't. Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, and potentially...
And now, you know what? There's seasons on the line against Cronulla and he's missing 3 weeks. He's also missing Melbourne. He's missing Penrith. He's their highest paid player on over $1 million.
So South have changed their tune now?
I think they have.
So they're not happy now all of a sudden, and all of a sudden it's an issue now, but it wasn't a couple of months ago.
I think Accor Stadium was a turning point in Latrell's influence at the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The people who have relentlessly supported him since he's been at that club have had enough. And the people I spoke to yesterday were filthy on him and not prepared to tolerate it any longer. Personally, I think it's too late and this should have happened a long time ago.
So there's no deflecting anymore. There's no excuses anymore. It's just
he's not the only problem.
He's not the only problem.
He's the biggest name. There's a lot more problems.
Who's the young fullback?
Can't win the battle and the backs can't score a try.
Who's the young fullback they're going to pick this week from from New South Wales Cup? This is how strong South will be now. I don't care what size he is, but what I'm saying, if he goes good at fullback, it could have been a difficult call to convince Latrell to come back as a centre. Latrell will be told now where he's going to be playing in future. He doesn't carry that same weight.
Who by though? Who by? Who's going to say? Demetrio might not be there next time Latrell plays.
I would say it would be someone like Ben Hornby with the backing of Nick Pappas, with the backing of Blake Solly, Mark Ellison and the board.
How come the owners aren't getting involved in this? How come when they're a privately owned club, it's a board that's making this decision about the coaching and those sorts of things?
Well, I don't think James Packer, being overseas, would even be aware of what's happening.
Can I ask, right? You said Ben Hornby's going to make those decisions. You think a rookie coach that's sat, and I like Ben, I don't know him that well. He seems like a real quiet guy that goes about his business, can make a big decision like that?
Yes, I do. Because, as I've explained, I think things changed when that club walked out of the
He'll be
court.
making the decisions that he's told them, mate. Like he's not going to step in as a rookie and start changing all the... They'll be wanting him to make certain decisions now, until they get the income.
When he takes over, he'll know that Latrell must toe the line. There's no pussyfooting around.
We all know that, but it's hard to say, listen, I'm going to do it my way, and they go, I'm sorry,
every player needs to toe the line. Every player in the competition needs to toe the line and listen to the coach and listen and put the team first. And that's just standard. Like, I don't understand why I've just got to do it now. Like, it's just what you do as a professional athlete, as a professional rugby league player.
And I totally understand...
Why are we just saying now everyone needs to toe the line?
Well, I totally understand what you're saying, Braithen. It's a very good point, but there's been no good leadership at that club since Bennett and Reynolds left, despite them having a good 22 and despite them leading last year.